Welcome to the Loyal Locals podcast. My name is Jerry Jimenez, the communications director for the local supporters group here in sunny San Diego, California. I am joined today by my two mejores amigos gringos, like I've already said it before, Mr. Steve Brokoff, who laughed at the beginning of this, ruined the intro song. How dare you, Steve?
Couldn't help myself, man. Drew cracks me up.
And of course, the one, the only, the myth, the legend, the birthday boy, Mr. Drew Steck. What's up, man?
Well, what's up? Not much.
Look
Am
at
I loud
this.
enough for you, Jeff? Am I loud enough for you? Happy birthday. Happy birthday to me, I guess. But thank you, everybody, for the well wishes. I was at dinner, and my phone blew up, and I was like, I want to respond to all these, but it's almost just nice to have like a washing over of messages to feel like, hey, it's not just the one, but a lot that means a lot. But everybody who reached out, thank you so much. It means a lot to me. So I appreciate you. As every year goes by, you keep thinking, as I get older, people care a little less about these things, but then they remind you that they still care. So I do appreciate that.
We love you, buddy. Happy birthday.
Yeah, we love you, man. Happy happiest of birthday. Hopefully you had a good dinner with the wifey. But we're glad to have you.
It was a little spicy
not
normal.
gonna-
It was nice.
We're not gonna blame this on you, but it was totally your fault.
Yeah, it's my fault.
Not your fault. No, Steve was actually gonna be here super late, and he ended
I
up,
was.
not being
Instead
here.
of
By the
not
way,
having them, we said let's roll it later. Let's both come in later and do it. So it's great.
by the way, where are you, Steve? It seems like you moved.
I am still at where, Jerry? I'm still
No.
still in Phoenix. Yeah.
Embedded.
I'm still in Phoenix. Unfortunately. It's been a long week to be out, but it is what it is. Working hard. It's kind of a big time in my project, so gotta do what I gotta do.
I know,
It's
man.
really cool what Steve's doing, by the way, too. So it's not for naught. It's a really, really, really cool thing. Is why he has to spend so much time in the land of exile, as most of us would put it. But it's pretty cool. So I'm pretty proud of what he's doing in his day job, even though he can't be in the Sunshine State with us.
I don't know if Tom is watching tonight, but he calls me a rocket scientist, and that's not exactly accurate. But I am working on things that will launch into space, which is
Exactly.
What? That's pretty cool. I didn't know that.
As a kid who wanted to be an astronaut, that's like the second best thing to be is being able to touch something that goes to space and build it. Like that's pretty darn cool.
But see, that's
yeah.
I was gonna say, like, it's better than saying, "Oh, you know what? When I grow up, I want to go to Arizona." Like, no one says that.
I hate Phoenix.
Yeah, like,
That's what they say.
no, that's what I'm saying, Corey.
Well,
Same
well,
exact thing, dude.
I went to dinner after work, and I had one beer. My plan is to have one beer because I have a huge day work tomorrow. And then I saw the locals tweet pop up on my notification saying it was Drew's birthday, and then I grabbed another beer. So this is to you, Drew. Happy birthday, brother! I love you.
Wait, what are you
Cheers.
drinking? What are you drinking?
This
Yeah, what
is
that?
these hops sure can fly by Tombstone Brewing.
Mm.
Yeah, there's a couple nice breweries out here. That's good to know for the future. One of them has a pretty cool little can, like a can display can shop. That's got some pretty good stuff actually. So
Nice.
cool little find I found recently that I enjoy.
Oh, I'm sorry, dude. I thought you were done talking.
No, you're
Mom,
good.
I keep cutting you off. Birthday boy, what are you drinking? I saw
No,
some.
it was just excited. I'm excited about that too, Steve, to have some water in the middle of the desert there, if you will, when it comes to beer. I'm doing two things tonight. So one is high octane
Ooh.
whiskey for it's American Prairie bourbon. So it's a Utah bourbon. High West, if you've never had it, it's available most places, but it's
Very good.
It's very good. I just like it. It's a good kind of change up to just a more solid bourbon. Then an Orderville is just kind of a little side chaser here. It's not bad.
Which one is that?
A little modern times, thinking about our 2020 season, announcement. That's what I'm thinking about. I'm actually pouring it correctly this week too, so I'm proud of myself. That also means I haven't had enough yet on my birthday. So,
Is that a two balls in a mic mug? What?
yeah, it would be. What's up? What's up, Chiva? And it's Chiva's birthday yesterday.
It
So,
is.
shout
For
out
all
my
the
birthday
April
bro.
babies.
There you go.
Everybody's parents getting it on 4th of July or something. I don't know what's happening.
Something
Right?
like that. Yeah, a little bit.
I don't know if I did the math.
A little
right.
bit of summer loving. I don't know if the math works, but we'll go with that. Either that, or I think it's just some Good old fashioned April people. I like this time as a birthday, honestly, because there's just not a lot of holidays this part of the year, so it breaks it up.
It's
So as a
true.
person who has a
Yeah, my birthday is 6 days before Christmas. So
yeah, that's my brother's like 3 days after, and it is just like tied
Yeah,
to Christmas. It's
it's
nice you see
awful.
your whole family a lot and that kind of thing around Christmas, but yeah, it's tough.
but it's
'cause
awful.
yeah, I like
So
that's
bad.
why yeah, as a person objectively in this part of the year, obviously from a subjective reason I like it, but objectively I think that's a good reason. So
Yeah.
thank you everybody for the shout out.
It was my son's birthday too. So Diego's
Yeah.
birthday was on
Both,
the
yeah.
2nd. We thought he was going to be born on April Fool's. No one was going to believe us. So I'm glad we waited a little bit. And then Elias was born on the 25th. So yeah, a bunch of April birthdays, man.
You know what's up. That's what I'm saying.
I don't know what's going on. I'm having a Creative Creature Reaper's Orders. It's
Ooh.
sour double IPA. It's crazy.
Whoa.
So it's a
Wow.
passion fruit guava, hop with Centennial, Strata, and Galaxy. It's pretty good. It's pretty.
I love anything that is a double IPA that's not supposed to be, right? Like where you're like, we're going to take this thing that shouldn't be a double IPA and we're going to make it a double, not only just an IPA, like a red IPA or whatever, but we're going to make it a double for no reason.
This one is a double.
There you go.
Double.
Double.
And I'm drinking it in my
Ooh.
brand new San Diego Loyal pint glass. I don't know if you guys saw this, but there are a
Ooh.
couple of us that are totally just gonna sell for San Diego Loyal right now. We should
Fresh
get
from the
paid for
shop.
this. Look. First of all, there's this. The beer's color is fantastic. Like, look at that. It is murky. It's delicious. This mug is $8 now, available at the shop. You know what else is available at the shop? This beautiful jersey, now modeled by the birthday boy. Is our
You can get it with the tags on. This is what made Steve laugh in the interview.
Yeah, that was
I had
totally-
the tags still on. I put it on because I came in with like the shirt I had. Funny enough, I got a latte after we had dinner just on the way back to the car, which made me later. Sorry, everybody. But like the latte exploded on my chest. That's actually what made me later because it
Whoa.
exploded all over the shirt I was wearing. So I was going to change anyway. But then when I threw this on, I was in haste and sat down with the tags on. But it is the Gargoyle kit. I'm part of the Gargoyle gang, if you will. What's up, Gargoyle gang? So that's anybody who's got the Gargoyle kits, either the goalie kits or the new white kits this year, the replicas here, but they're good. They're kind of, some people said they're Wonder Breadish, a little bit white, but I kind of like the white clean look, right? If you're going to have a white clean look, you know, go all in. And the taper with the V-neck, I thought in pictures maybe was a little tight there, but I'm not very big V-neck guy. But if you're watching on the video, you can see it's got a very nice taper right there around the neck, the ASMR. Just get in here on this.
I'm gonna just buy a white t-shirt. I bought it, by the way, but I'm gonna like make my own replicas. Just get a white t-shirt,
Oh, yeah.
and a sticker on the chest. Like
Just draw it. No, Jerry, draw it.
Draw it, yeah, on a
Have
white
Travis draw it.
dude.
Yeah, get some white out for the shoulders.
Yeah.
Just get 3 lines with some white out. You're
There
gonna
you
go.
go. Like
But
elec-
it is
electric tape, thin electric tape.
it's a little skinnier than last year's too. I'll say last year's was a little baggier just in general if you bought the authentic the kit.
Wow.
This
They
one
are
is a little bit
tighter fit.
tighter in terms of the fit.
Mm.
Yeah, that's
just
very true. So basically, what they were trying to do is create something that's more affordable, and for whatever reason, looks not, usually a replica is going to be like the exact same look as the authentic jersey. It would just be cheaper prints. So it would be like the crest isn't as fancy, and maybe there's like missing patches or whatever that may be. Not this one. This replica, quote unquote replica, is completely different. And it's and it has, so the whole thing too with the gargoyle on the front, rather than having the stone brewing, is so that your kids can wear it to school. I don't know if they allow gargoyles, but they definitely don't allow the word brewing on the t-shirt. So that was kind of like one of the things. It's cool. I like it. I enjoy it. I think a lot of people were kind of talking bad about it, but it's not for everybody, of course, and it's just more
in person,
affordable.
it's a little different too.
But-
Yeah.
What's that?
In person, it's a little different.
Oh
right?
yeah,
Like,
it is.
it's got
Yeah.
some piping, so it doesn't show up on webcam or really even. Ryan takes great photos, but it's really hard to see without the right lighting. There is ridges here, so it's almost like a pinstripe kind of look. So
Mhm.
it's not just a plain white, and so that is something to discern a little bit in person, that it is a little bit different. As Jerry said, it's just kind of a change up, and I think that I like it. I in person, I liked it a lot more than seeing pictures of it, and so that's just something why you have to go into the shop, as Jerry said, dangerously enough, $8 at a time, they'll get your money. But it is the reason. So this is our little commercial for the shop to let you know that you should go in just to check it out. Even if you don't walk away with this, there's some really cool new shirts too that are, every time I'm in there, I go, oh, I got to come back and get this. So that's my thing. But
Yeah,
even when it's your birthday and you get all the things you want for your birthday, you still go, oh, okay, I could get that together shirt. That looks pretty cool.
be careful. Be careful what you do, and and by that I mean like how much money you actually allow yourself to go to the shop with. But I hear there's a bunch of other things coming. Yeah, but I was there with my son actually for his birthday. But I got to talk a little bit with Ricardo and got to see some of our pod family. Obviously, our super pod fam, which is like we saw Tony, saw Marissa, Nick was there. So we got to see some of the guys. It was cool. It was nice to hang out for a bit. And yeah, so Jerry's kid has a rocket leg, future low player. I hope so. We'll see if he likes it. But yeah, he kicks pretty strong. So we're kicking the ball around there and stuff. And I agree with this one. We want those sweet black training kits they wear. I think it's the one that Landon Donovan has worn in most of his stuff, where it's like black, white piping, and then black Adidas. Yeah, it's nice. It's nice. Oh yeah, you never know who you're going to bump into at the shop. So, anyways, that's enough selling for Loyal. The only reason we do that is because, I don't know why we do that. Why do we do that? Actually, I just
I think every time I'm there, I feel a sense of community. It's part of why we do this, right? Like part of what's great about going there right now, at least, is in this limited capacity where we really don't have a lot of outlets to see people. The nice thing is there, we know most of them have been tested. Actually, a lot have been vaccinated by working with Brady's and other people. As well. So it's nice just to know that the group there is safe, but like it's a way to go in and see people who we know, either whether it's Weston on the team there internally or people that you just aren't going to think to call up, but you can have a conversation with. And then in the case of our community here, our friends that you run into at the shop, especially on bigger days like Fridays and things like that you can run into and have a little nice hangout with. So I think it's not just going there. It's every time I'm there, I stay for like an hour and a half just talking to people. And it has nothing to do with buying stuff. It's just because the community is awesome and being a part of this community is great. So I think that's why we do it. It's just because we love that time we get with everybody there. So, come on down. So if we ever say, hey, we're going to be there, you can check our Discord. So shout out Discord. But, pretty much usually when they say, hey, we might have some stuff to release, you can putter around the Discord and find out there. We have a new channel called #MerchMansion, which you can definitely scope out for some of that content as well. So, that's where again it all ties back into the group. But for me, Jerry, that's why I think we talk about it, because it's not just buying something. You're buying an experience, and you're also buying like it makes you feel good. It's one of the few times you go to and make a purchase and you're just like, generally I just love this thing and what it means to me. And so that's
we're just a bunch of show-offs, dude. We're just a bunch of show-offs that like to show off that we have new Loyal gear and be like, yo, you have this? Oh, you do? Oh, okay. Well, I do too. And then be like, yo, what's up? Look at my cool stuff that I have.
And you'll even buy something, I'll go, oh, I wish I bought that thing. And then I'll have to buy it next time, right? And like that's the thing. It's like, okay. So it's not a one-upsmanship, but it's almost the fun of just like, oh, well, now that I see it and I see how like much Jerry likes it, like I'm definitely gonna have to get one of those, right?
Support your local club, man. Like that's what we're about. That's why we're here. They give us hopefully this year lots of happiness. And we give them a little bit of our money. That's just how it works.
That's the deal.
No, but again, we have to get into this because we have a lot to talk about today, guys. But I'm glad that you were both able to make it. I know it was a little kind of like maybe, especially because it's your birthday. So thank you for joining us, Drew, and spending your birthday night with us. We do have a lot to talk about. We're going to talk about obviously the New Mexico match. We're going to talk about the 4 new signings. We're going to talk about some membership updates and some other things that you need to be fully aware of. So what do you guys say we get into it? I'm almost at the point where I need to refill. So let's do it. New Mexico. What happened? Okay, so preparation match USL with a USL championship taste is what they called it. And by the way, can I just say, I mean, I love all the media people at San Diego Loyal. They do a fantastic job. But please spell check your stuff and double check your work, because I was reading through this going, who's Cherrelle Adams? Who is Cherrelle Adams? And then at the bottom of this report, it says Devin Sandoval scored the second goal in the 86th minute for San Diego. What? I didn't know we had no Devin Sandoval in our team. Turns out it's actually New Mexico. So here's what happened, guys. 2-1 match. It was the first kind of actual match. And by that, I mean it was a full-on 45-minute half, 45-minute match, right? A full 90-minute match. That's what I'm trying to get at. 6 of the guys got a full 90 minutes. So we kind of get in a good idea of who is going to be in our squad, who's going to be in our starting, as of right now, at least, who's going to be in our starting 11. Steve, how do you feel about this? Because there's not, we can go off of the notes. There's not much that we can really talk about other than what was given to us through Twitter, really.
Yeah. I think Stoneman scored the goal, which is telling. I think we've talked about a locals trivia night, so I'm not going to reveal my piece of trivia about Stoneman, but he's a critical player, and I think him getting on the score sheet is a good thing. I mean, Drew and I talked about it a couple weeks ago. He talked about it again last week, that you can only glean so much off these matches, but what you can, you can pick off, and somebody like Stoneman getting his head in front of goal is a good thing. He could be a threat on set pieces going forward.
Yeah, it was it was an assist by Charlie Adams, who sent it over to Grant Stoneman. I mean, it was a beautiful goal, and you can go back and actually watch it.
Yeah, he totally read his run, read his mind, kind of where he was going, especially with the defender making a run like that. You can never you can't exhaust those, right? You only have so many of those a game where you get somebody coming all the way from the back line, all the way to try and score like that. And especially in a run of game like that, where it seemed like they weren't producing a ton of shots or a ton of chances, just based on the score line and the outcome, and just generally what the gist we get from our limited correspondences from the front, as I like to say. But it's what you expected in some degree from a cagey 90-minute match, that perhaps they maybe, I don't know, held back a little bit. Maybe they didn't show their full formation to New Mexico, knowing that they talked to other USL people, and that's a more closed loop system than possibly playing somewhere else with, a more mixed group and a more real 90. So you don't know what they were trying to do, but ultimately, as you said, I think that what you take away from this is kind of some of the positives. Is the scoreline. And in this case, Grant, it looks like getting involved with his head is huge, because he did that a couple times for us last season. It seemed like whenever he did, it was a huge release valve for everyone. That was the big thing, is that it does seem to release the rest of the team a lot of pressure, because they feel like, oh, now that Grant's scoring, I feel like I can, as an offensive player, I can almost double down and feel like he can sit back, and now I want to get one for him, right? Especially when a defender scores. So getting that head involved is a huge thing. As anybody's watched any club, when a defender's scoring and scoring well, your club's doing well, unless you're in a really bad position and they're the only one scoring. But typically, if you have a center back who's the model of Grant Stoneman, where they're not usually that offensively forward, that's a good sign, honestly. So I'm positive about that. The negative would be that, where were the other goals? Where was, trying to get involved in terms of the certain lineups? But they did switch it up after about 50 minutes, it looked like, pretty massively in terms of the lineup. So you never know with the mix of players and how much.
Yeah, and so and like the other thing, I mean, Jerry kind of said it early on, but like you can't, maybe there were like 10 chances right in front of goal and they just didn't go in. And like, you hate to see that, soccer is a results-based game, obviously, just like any sport is. So like, that doesn't really matter at the end of the day if this was a USL Championship game, but that doesn't tell us the overall. The final score doesn't tell us the overall quality of the match, right? Like it's really, really hard to sit here and be like, oh, they lost, they suck. Like, no, they probably played better than a 2-1 scoreline showed, and that's okay,
Well, and someone like Toomey, right? Like, his Toomey's heat map, like, is it all over the place? Was he everywhere? And like, do we even know like what he did in that game versus when you watch on film? Sometimes you never hear a player's number called on Twitter or anything. And if you're watching, you can tell, that person was everywhere or was in on those tackles. And so it's just those kind of things you just don't see, right? Those are the things I'm curious about on some of these hinge players that might be in or out of the lineup. The starting 11 is whether or not, what their contributions are in these kind of games. And we just don't know. And so that's where you take the score line, you take what you can. And the other thing seemed to be that New Mexico was very up for this from a social media standpoint and a team standpoint, which I enjoyed. So it seems like when we do play them in the regular season, that's going to be quite a fun game to have them come here and hopefully be, as we've all anticipated, a very fun hangout. So their team and fans similarly felt kind of shut out and wanted more content. And we should hopefully all get that later this year, hopefully.
To kind of touch on the goal. So I'm not sure exactly from watching the video if it was on the run of play or if it was a set piece. regardless, I mean, you have to keep in mind that Grant Stoneman is a defender. He's 6'2", talking about being big, right? So the fact that we have players in the defense that can add to the goal tally is huge, and that's a really, really good thing. I do agree with you, though, Drew, that where were the other goals, right? One of the things that we got from the notes that I would say maybe we didn't necessarily get from Twitter, I don't remember if they said this, but it does seem like both Moshabane, Herzog, and Guido were very much, on their way to scoring a goal, and were just unable to put it in the back of the net. So they did say Moshabani sent a shot on frame, while Guido and Herzog had back-to-back shots before Stoneman finally scored, the goal in the 64th minute. The thing was, I would expect to see more goals from these guys, especially with who we have up top. You had out front, you had Corey Herzog, and you had, I believe it was, I don't know if it was, I think it was Moshe Bani actually that threw in the front there. So
yeah, I mean, like I said though, I agree generally. If this was like a 2 or 3 game stretch where we scored 1 goal or no goals, like I would agree. Like last August, remember August was, I think we scored 1 goal all of August. So like I would agree generally. If this is a couple game stretch, but like we've been scoring this preseason, and then this 1 game, we didn't. I wouldn't pull too much from that. It's preseason. It's 1 game.
Yeah. Last week they said they had more chances and scored a ton of goals too, right? So they scored 9 goals in 2 matchups. So
right.
Obviously, not every preseason game does end that way, right? So I think we were also attuned to thinking like, wow, when they smash it in, we should be getting goals. So I think also last week buffered that in my head a little bit personally to think like we should win this, right? Like, yeah, that's kind of how I felt, even though it is preseason and you just don't know what they're working out or what they're trying. Maybe they were trying a weird offbeat formation to see how it would work against a team like this, and maybe they're going to roll with their primary formation. Normal, you just don't know. So that's always the questions I have in terms of that kind of stuff is what are you looking to get out of this? And mainly, as you said, I think it's at least it was close. We didn't get blown out. And even then we blew out Reno last year in preseason and they blew us out in the regular season. So it's just you don't know. And that's where for me, I like that they I like that they're showing different looks in terms of the lineup. I think that's a huge thing to see just generally, because it does mean that we're not going to be stagnant. And I think that was part of the frustration last year, was throwing out some of the same players, expecting different results at a certain point, as Steve was talking about. So it doesn't seem like any of that will be a problem in the production on offense. Some days you just kick a ball and every time you kick it, it hits the post. It's the most perfect curler off your foot and it hits the post. And like, maybe that's what they were experienced last weekend. Maybe it was just the clicking, but Landon said it this week, I think in a video, that he's very, very excited about where they're at this point.
Yeah.
And so that means that behind the scenes, if he's happy at that point, he demands excellence. So I'm probably happy compared to the results they've had so far. It seems like agree with mostly that statement.
You're gonna trust Landon Donovan being interviewed about his team in preseason though? I mean, we don't know. I mean, we don't know.
Yeah, we just don't know. We don't know.
So yeah, and
we haven't seen anything yet. We are waiting. We can actually see it.
Eric did say, yeah, it's preseason. Yes, of course. I know. And I think the comments that we say right now are just more coming from an area where we're going to be very demanding of this squad. I think just as supporters, we have to be. And I think it's fair. But yeah, of course, 1-goal games do happen. It's not indoor soccer, by the way. It's just, I'm going to throw that in there.
The Soccers are awesome.
The Soccers are awesome. They're in the playoff. We're going to be playing
overtime Soccers, man.
I know this is a San Diego Loyal podcast. This is the Locals podcast, but y'all should be paying attention to indoor. The San Diego Soccers are about to win the Ron Newman Cup against the Ontario Fury. You watch. Okay.
That's what they do. They win championships. And also Jerry's other podcast, to give him a shout out, Soccers Overtime, with Craig recapping the team. Definitely give that a listen. And was no more aptly named than this year for sure. Like,
yes, we have one
because you guys kept going to overtime games like all playoff.
3 out of 4 playoff matches we went into overtime. So yes, I agree with you. It's ridiculous. It's like heart pumping. We've been calling this team torture this whole season. So go and check it out. Actually, it's the last 2 matches. If you haven't been paying attention, we just actually announced today on the podcast, we're going to have, as of right now, it sounds like 500 tickets to San Diego Soccer fans. So if
Cool.
you're a season ticket holder, I believe you get first choice. If they're not, then they're going to open it up to the general public. So if you can be there, it's in Ontario, not Canada. It's in Ontario, California. So it's just an hour and a half, 2 hour drive if you go at a good time. So check it out. Okay. Thank you for that, Drew. We're gonna move it on though because I'm very excited about this. Steve, do you want to talk about this?
It's a big deal.
Drew, whoever take it. I'm gonna go refill because this is such good news for us as supporters, man. I love it.
Yeah. So the pipeline is real, and they've talked about it a while now, and they finally announced their 4 trialist signings for their not an academy, but their academy Loyal Select. So like Jerry said, it's really exciting. It's not just about pro soccer. It's not just about, bringing people in from other places to play and represent San Diego. It's about signing homegrown players and building a pipeline to first team minutes and maybe not just for San Diego Loyal, but maybe for, the betterment of their careers as well. So I think it's an awesome thing that they're doing.
It's easy to be cynical, right, about pro sports sometimes. These days, it used to be back in the day when I think we were growing up, there was still this mythos of pro sports and athletes can come from a place just like us and down the street and rise up to this thing. And it becomes this thing where as we get older and older, and especially in our lifetime, it's gone from pro sports being a multi-million-dollar industry to a multi-billion-dollar industry that's mostly driven at a higher level by people with lots of money over decisions that are possibly made about fans and about what's good for the game and good for players at a general direction. And so with things like this, it's impossible to be cynical, which is what I love about it. It's impossible to be cynical about giving kids a shot who are from this area, who didn't have this option a year ago, didn't exist. Loyal didn't exist. USL wasn't here, as a club, right? It was planning to be here, but they hadn't played until exactly a year and 395 days ago, right? This opportunity, let's say 2 years ago, didn't exist for these players. And even then, Loyal Select didn't exist. So having that opportunity now, it's awesome. So there's just nothing like the Soccers are awesome. This is awesome too. This is just something you can't, beat around and say, oh, well, they're sucking up their opportunity to do this. If these players had opportunities elsewhere, I'm sure that they would have other chances. And even then, maybe they did, but maybe it would require their family to make hard decisions. Or, one of them would have to go over to Europe or something like that. And this gives them an opportunity to kind of bridge some time in their life where they don't want to do that, but they still can play at a high level or be in a, an environment that is a first team, full, male environment for soccer at the top level. Like that's what they're getting here in this opportunity. And I would love to see that for the female side as well. And for anyone, but
have we talked about
to me
who they are?
No,
we're just talking about the opportunity. Yeah, but let's talk about the dudes.
Throw it in there. You guys are already going into this whole conversation about the kids and how great it is for them. And let's talk about these guys first. I'm excited about the kids. Okay, we'll talk about this right now. Hold on, because they're 16, 17, 16, and 18. I'm gonna drink a beer for them. Right there yet? Hold on. By the way, this is another creative creature. It's called Ascendance. Oh, so good. The hazy IPA.
Who does their can art? It's always a similar. Great.
I'm gonna look up the artist name.
To find out.
Look at this.
Great.
Like, oh, come on. There we go. Look at that.
Nice.
So nice. Okay. Oh, by the way, sorry for those that are audio only. You should be watching this on YouTube.
Yeah, look at this. Look at this, everybody. It was a dude with kind of like a backward. I'm gonna stop describing it, but yeah, these guys are, our guys. That's what's great. It's like whatever happens in their career, these are starting here and then going somewhere. They could go anywhere. That's what the unlimited potential here. But these dudes are actual full dudes. We heard trialists before. We got numbers, and now we have real full names and stories and ages. Yeah. So that's what happened today.
I'm going to start off by saying, if you're not part of our Discord and you're a member, I don't know what you're doing, because I did some, a little bit of detective work, and we knew these 4 names a long time ago. I'm going to say like last month, because I did some snooping around. And so if you're in the Discord, we discuss these things and talk about these things. We don't release it to the general public because That's not cool. So we're excited that actually we didn't know it was coming today. I'm glad that it's finally here. Here's a quote from our manager. He said, "As the soccer capital of this country, we are very fortunate to have some of the very best players in San Diego." I would absolutely agree. Being able to add 4 of them to a roster further shows our commitment to this community. And they were truly dedicated to making San Diego Loyal a club that our entire community can be proud of. That being said, Xavi Nalty, 16, midfielder,
Cardiff.
Hearted by the Sea. Youth club experience is Oceanside Breakers, San Diego Surf Soccer Club, and Encinitas Express Soccer.
Encinitas. I grew up playing at Encinitas Express.
Cool story, bro. Calvin J, CJ Fodry. Sorry, dude. 17. You're so proud about being from North County.
Why wouldn't I be?
None of these kids are from South Bay, so I'm just being salty. CJ
People are hype on Xavi, though. I will be honest. There's a lot of hype around him. He seems very, very good.
Yeah. So CJ Fodry, he scored a goal in one of the preseason set up by Xavi, actually. So there you go. Forward, Coronado, youth experience with Coronado FC, the Nomads Soccer Club, LA Galaxy Youth Academy, Albion, and San Diego Surf. Ian May, 16, defender, Mission Valley. He is from the LAFC Academy originally, moved on to LA Galaxy Youth Academy, and San Diego Surf Soccer Club. Josh Kenworthy, the older of the 4, still very experienced. The guy has.
Is he worthy?
He's
Kenworthy.
He's Kenworthy. He's defender. Del Sur, California. Where's Del Sur? Is that a beach?
So Del Sur didn't exist 10 like pretty much 15. I'd say 10 years ago, but that's a lie. So about 15 years ago. So it's just about north of what you call Torrey Highlands PQ area is what's become kind of like Del Sur Forest Ranch. Is what it's commonly called, but Forest Ranch is like more of the development name. Technically, it's supposed to be Del Sur, I believe.
Interesting.
So people call it like Forest Ranch is like the common name, but like the map name, I believe, is Del Sur.
It's like when people are like, "Oh yeah, I live in Nestor," and we're like, "It's Otay. It's not
exactly
Nestor.
Same thing." Yep.
Okay. Albion SC, San Diego Surf Soccer Club, and Atlanta United Academy. So yeah, that's Josh Kenworthy. It's great, man. So players are also eligible to compete with Loyal Select, which is really good news. So this basically announcement is saying these 4 are in our number 1. They're in team 1. They're in this squad, in the main squad. However, they're also young enough where they can play with the Loyal Select. So that's the club's part-time youth development program that we've already discussed in the very, very knowledgeable and worthy hands of Mr. Matt Hall. So if you don't know about that, please go and check out the last episode that we did with Matt Hall. It's a few back. I'll look it up for Drew if you could look that up. That would be awesome. But a couple of things Afmir mentioned here. So are they on the B team? No, they're on the A team. Is there an academy now? No. This is actually Loyal Select. It's not an academy. Right. USL Academy is a program. It's not an actual academy. I should probably say that.
Thank you for clarifying, because I think I said academy earlier.
Yeah. So it's not an academy, and I think we were stopped from saying that because these guys definitely still do belong to their own individual academies, which in this case, all 4 of them are San Diego Surf. And then they're guided by Loyal. Yes, that's it. So they do play with San Diego Surf for a certain amount of time. And then the Loyal Select players will have specific days out of the week that they come and train with Loyal Select. And they have certain matches that they play with Loyal Select under the USL Academy banner. Now,
that's where the word academy comes in. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So then now that being said, these 4 are not in all of that. They are part of that, but they're also part of the A squad. They're part of the main team. So something to keep in mind, okay? Because I think it was a little confusing there. It's very unlike what other people are doing. So, do we all dislike Surf? No, because they're awesome. They're creating some talent.
Yep.
That's where the rich people live. Come on.
It's similar to the national team model, right? So when you're talking about players coming from their clubs, right, either in an academy or something like that, going down to Bradenton, they train and they do certain things together with that. They'll also have mini camps here or there that are away from their camps, right? So it's picking selective times to do that, obviously with more fruitful results than what we've seen recently with the U.S. men's national team as an example. But the idea of that model makes sense in other spaces as well for a lot of national teams, right? Just generally based on the country. It doesn't matter if it's here or anywhere else. That's generally how they work, right? They work with the club, then they go up and they work with that other team a little bit. And the same idea here. They have a home club, and then they have Loyal over the top of it, right? So it will be exciting to see some of that, but that's where they have scalable opportunities to be on first team places, right, and have opportunities to play within the first team, but then also to be able to play against players who are in a similar spot in life. So it gives them that range of ability, as well as with their home clubs, to explore all of that, and we're not pulling them away from any of those opportunities, right, as a as a club, when you're saying we as Loyal, but like that's not pulling them from that existence. So
No.
that's what I'm excited about this is generally it's not going to blow up, that pathway for any of them or blow up the local landscape, because we've done a great job of producing talent here. Obviously it reaches the national level and beyond. It's just a question of channeling it and giving it opportunity and lifting a platform up. And so that's what this is. It's a platform, and I'm excited about it. It seems like, to me, the other thing I'm excited about is that Andrew, our owner, as well as a lot of the staff, really are genuinely just jazzed. Like, not just like, hey, this is a thing we're doing and it's great, and we're always about bringing up talent, but this is one of the things they're most excited about is this, right? And that when they shared it with us, we had some big news, and we were like, oh, you signing Messi? And they're like, no, we're starting Select. And we were like, oh, okay, this is great. But they were so excited about it because I think they've met the kids and they've known for a while now, and they know like these are, once other people meet them and we see them, we're going to fall in love with their stories as well as what we want them to do in their careers. And maybe they don't go and have this amazing career somewhere, but we follow them in MLS to, Atlanta or somewhere like that, right? That's still an amazing pathway for one of these kids, even if they don't go to Chelsea or whatever your club is, right? Like that's the dream here, right? Or even
like, they do in life. No, but like think about, world-class soccer development around the world. They always talk about how important it is for youth players to play up and to play professional minutes as young as they possibly can. This gives these kids that chance to play up and play professional minutes as early as they can. Say, that 16-year-old kid is going to play with other 16-year-olds until he's 18. And then he doesn't really push himself. And so he doesn't develop in the same way. So like this could give the opportunity for some 16-year-old kid to go from, going to playing until they're 18, playing in college, and maybe, becoming a financial advisor, into actually, becoming a professional soccer player for the rest of his life. Like this is making a difference, not in just, their careers, wherever they go, but their careers in general. Like, this can impact their lives, not just, their soccer lives, like, but also both. Like, it's just a really interesting and awesome angle that they're taking here.
Yeah. One of the paragraphs that I really enjoyed from the press release was players are also eligible to compete with Loyal Select, the club's part-time youth development program, as well as the respected youth clubs on any given weekend, as long as they are not on SD Loyal's active 18-man roster. So that's totally a possibility. Also, the hope is that Loyal Select is the pathway to pro for all future USL Academy contract signees. So it's definitely given opportunities, but you have to keep in mind, I mean, this is harnessing the really, really great talent that is in San Diego and then exposing it to more eyes, because people are already watching this club regardless, especially after last season. And now they're going to be having their eyes on these kids if they end up making the 18-man roster, right? You think about people like, just recently I was looking into Evan Rotundo and where he was at, because he's from San Diego. He's at Schalke 04. Like he just got signed, I think, last year officially. Yep. So I mean, like he trained with San Diego Loyal last year. Yeah, and he was with I believe his Surf also, right? Surf Kid. Yeah. So I mean, there you go. And you follow, some of these youth players, and they're the future. They're the future of this club and the future of the sport. Whether it's here in San Diego at home or overseas, where we can proudly be like, hey, they're from San Diego. Right. Hey, that kid, what's his name? Paul Arriola. He's from San Diego. Like it's just how proud are you to
Right,
be able to
very.
see, right? So yeah, this is just one of those other steps, just as Drew and Steve have been mentioning. Like it's just one of those next steps that San Diego Loyal has taken to show that they're serious about being here and harnessing the just great talent that we have. So
Yeah, you look at our
Why are
club
you guys
too. You look
messing,
at, you
by
look
the
at
way? What is
Liverpool players.
going
Well,
on?
I was just going to say, you look at Jack, right? Like, he's a Liverpool guy who's from the area or whatever. But it's the reason that club has such good reach and some massive reach as an area, right? Liverpool's a massive international city, but population wise, and obviously in a football mad country, but like you have to harness the talent there and give such a pipeline to not only that's what attracts talent from everywhere too, right? To say is we want to play with the best and have the most fun with the best, and by giving a conduit to say I could play with the next whoever, right, or even play with these kids who are incredible. I know for me, when I play with kids who are just way better than me, it makes me feel amazing. It makes me like, first you go, I'm old, right? But you also go, this is the best feeling you have playing, because it is just so much more fun than playing with people who are maybe not getting that enjoyment or aren't at that part in the career. So that's what I love about it. So for me, it's, and again, Jeff just said in the comments, what's wrong with being a financial advisor? If that's
Didn't
what
mean it like
someone's
that,
going to
Jeff.
do, they'll be the best financial advisor that we'll all root for, right? And then be able to throw our support behind his supporters in that way. And so like, that's where for me, it's about lifting humans up, and this is their chosen, skill. And that's where I hope that they all succeed, and I hope we can push them that way. But for me, that's where I'm really excited about all of this, is getting to see that progression, and then again, see the evolution of our market and our culture to say, hey, we're there with, as Landon said, the soccer capital of the United States. To be that, we have to generate talent and have that talent not only go here, but go all around the world and tell them about how San Diego is a place that is, football mad or soccer mad. So
I really want to tackle this this statement by Afmir. Listen, dude. First and foremost, I've seen this, and I keep seeing this on Twitter, where it's like, "Oh, the little sour, no South Bay representation." Or why don't you guys look in Chula Vista and South Bay? Look at some of the Mexican kids. Number one, Jordan Chavez, Austin Guerrero, they're South Bay. What do you mean there's no representation? So that statement is absolutely wrong. Secondly, I want to have the best possible talent, and I trust my gaffer and the people that are in this squad to bring the best talent possible into this. If that's not the case coming out of South Bay right now, maybe they just haven't been discovered, and maybe they're still looking in. So don't take the approach of like, oh yeah, they're why can't we get any representation down south? Because of the rich kids. Don't do that, man. That's just I'm sorry, but I hate that. Like it just I'm over that, because I grew up around that, and it's just totally like a Latino thing. And it just bothers me, man. And if you disagree with me, that's fine. Send me a message. We'll chat about it. But like, we just got to get that out of, get that out of our head. Get out of that
there's a
mentality.
lot of factors why they chose these players. I think part of it has to do sometimes with their clubs being open to it too. And certain clubs maybe in the South Bay just weren't as open to that conversation at this point, because they've been exploited for players before.
Yeah.
And maybe they just felt like they didn't want to be burned again, or have their players' time used in a way that they didn't think was constructive. And so again, it's up to the clubs to opt in somewhat, I believe. And so, because obviously they're giving up their player for a conduit to a certain level. So I'm not saying that that's on anyone, but yeah, it's up to these certain people. And I'm convinced, and not only convinced, I know for a fact that they're having conversations with everybody. So it's not from a want or a need level of not trying to talk to everybody, because Shannon and Matt are two of the people who I know for a fact in that organization would take anyone's phone call if they called them. So, that's where for my money, I think we'll see a lot of talent coming out of the South Bay at some point. It's just a question of when and who. And to me, I wouldn't be surprised if some of the best players ever in the city come directly out of the South Bay. I don't think anybody would, right? That's where we've seen traditionally a house of the talent. So again, to me, it might have more to do with social dynamics. And another reason they chose to go this model as opposed to, I think, a full-fledged academy right into the market is that there is a lot of interested people building players up in this market, and have been for a long time. So you can't tell them their interest isn't, valid over here if they don't want to opt in. So I think that's, again, just I want to respect those clubs too, to say maybe they have a mission for their players that's there, and that we love Loyal and we want them to opt in, but it's up to them to do it. So I just don't want to say that this is the only way or that they have to. So
no.
That's what I love about these players doing it, is it is an opt-in, it is a choice too.
Real quick. I'm sorry. It's just I have to get this out. So Loyal Select, it's gonna have a lot of players in it. These are 4 players that are in the
Exactly.
number 1 squad. We don't know how much of the South Bay kids are gonna be in Loyal Select. I would say that this is absolutely just a conversation, by the way. This is not that serious, but I do get a little, I get fired up when it comes to my people reacting in a negative way about something that they just are assuming. And that's the worst thing. And by my people, I mean as Latinos, okay? Like it just, I'm sorry, it is what it is. This is how we are, who we are. I do it all the time, and then I catch myself and I'm like, oh, wait, but maybe I'm just thinking about it too much, or maybe I'm just reading into something that I don't have enough information about. And as a detective, again, join Discord, you'll see. It's what I do. So yeah, just a conversation. Don't worry, Afmir. And by the way, and I'm sorry, dude, if you think that I'm being
We're
too
not
hard.
calling you out. No,
We're not
that's
calling
not
you
what
out.
this is. No,
Yeah,
this
I am.
We thought the same thing, right? It's like we want when as Steve said, he's so proud of having a player from his club and where he came from. Like, and for me, seeing Del Sur there, in the 15 corridor is like, oh, that's cool. Like, it's another player from kind of over this way where Miguel was, came up in Poway. So it's like pretty cool to see that kind of stuff for me. And I get the same way of anybody wants to see their area and their people represented. So there will be plenty, I think, of that within this group and what they want to do and accomplish, especially in 2021. So I'm excited to see where it goes. Right, this is the start, as you said. 100%
I agree. I think a lot of this has to do with Jerry. You mentioned it. They're all surf players. Going to surf and having a good relationship. This is other clubs could see that being they have a really good relationship with surf and they treated their surf players really well. I'm going to be willing to do that with my players and our players, and then this could become a much bigger thing. Obviously, like Jerry said, this is just loyal. This is not just Loyal Select. There's other Loyal Select players, but I think that this is just the beginning. And like just because we're seeing 4 surf players doesn't mean we're not going to see more other players in the future.
Mm-hmm.
So
this is just the way that it worked out.
A bunch more clubs, yeah.
Oh man,
you got a great player. Tell Matt Hall about it, and Shannon. I'm sure they either know or they will look into it, and that's all.
Like, it's cutting him for 5 years.
Yeah. And it's sure. Like this is here we go. Like it's because we got to fight for it. It ain't given, but who's to say you don't know that these kids haven't been fighting for it? We just told you all the places that they've played at, and so they've definitely been fighting for it as well. So let's be conscious of the fact that maybe these kids are actually seeing some of the comments on Twitter and some of the things that are being said. Oh, why is it all rich kids? That's not fair.
You don't know them. You don't know their story. You don't know where they came from too.
Here's the thing is I have good information that tells me that a roster is coming very, very soon.
Okay.
I'm like very, very soon. So it's coming. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. And I was told to do this. It's coming. Okay. So and with good news. So this conversation will get a lot better, I promise. Literally just as we're talking right now, I got a text. So it's nice.
Sometimes it works like that. That's why we talk about it, guys. It's because sometimes we get some extra information here that we can share with you like that. So if you're wondering why we talk out our thoughts, this is why, right? Because it leads to these conversations, as Jerry was saying, as it being a conversation.
Oh, there you go. This is great. One of my daughters played for surf, and there were plenty of kids from all over the country who drove hours. I think he meant county. I hope who drove hours to and from practice. Yeah, and I mean, some of these kids drove up
country.
To
LA.
The country. Yeah.
One of the best programs in the country.
People fly in. Yeah.
Yeah, this is one of those conversations that like this is a totally different podcast. Like this is its own podcast in itself. The pay to play. And trust me, as a parent, like this is absolutely a conversation that will be had at some point.
Mercado, you guys know where I stand. It should all be free, but yeah, it's it is what it is, and this is how, again, with clubs being here and developing players really well for a number of years, you have to work with them and how they want to work. And as we said, Surf is one of the best, and a lot of the other clubs here around the county too just have incredible stature around the country. So it will be a not a conveyor belt, that's a bad way of putting it, of players, but just an amazing tapestry village that we just are the best place in the world for this specific thing, because I've just seen so many good players in so many places. It just seems like every one of them, once they get a story of, hey, I got this thing and I got discovered, Now, if that happens at an earlier age, you create that pipeline, right? And that's just what we're talking about here. So you can't fix everything overnight, but giving that exposure and giving that ability is just such a key step of linking player and talent to exposure. And that is just what's so massive here. So if you're like, this doesn't fix the pay for play, it does at least give this window that wasn't there. And so that's why we're excited, because for our lives this didn't exist and now it does.
Hey, and he okay, here, Afmir, just because now we're having this conversation. He said, didn't mean to turn this negative. I'm rooting for these dudes. You know what? You did turn this negative, and now I'm just gonna drink all night. Thanks to you. That's what I'm gonna do.
I think we were gonna drink all night is what he's saying either way. Afmir,
Yeah,
so
that's pretty much it.
We're always with you guys. And this is a family where we'll bring up things that are on our mind and say them the way we feel. And so I appreciate Afmir for that comment, because that's the way several people feel, as Jerry said. And let's be real about it. Let's talk it out, because we're always here for that.
You're gonna get me in trouble, but like, yeah, with the
one of these days,
for sure.
But let's move to like objectively incredible news. Let's move on to some
really good news. Yeah, but Xavi, Calvin, Jay, that's CJ, by the way, Calvin, Jay, Ian, and Josh, welcome. If you're listening to this conversation, I hope. Yeah. I hope not, but if you are, welcome.
I got a like from one of them today, and they didn't have a profile picture yet, so they're lurking, guys. I will say they're around, and they're younger than all of us, and they listen to they're way more digitally adept than all of us. It's incredible. So
way more.
They're again, as Gary said, they are younger and they are sensitive, not like in a way of like that, but like build them up. You know, we're here to support them, and like that's what I love about this, is being able to give them the feeling of being a first team player at that age and saying, hey, we're here to support you like that. Regardless of your growth, and sometimes you'll fall, but we're here to help pick you right back up, because that's what we do, and that's what we're here to do, and that's what I'm excited for.
100%. No, yeah, I think that's a perfect spot to move on, like you said, Drew. But yeah, no, just excited to have these kids on here. We're going to be talking a lot about them. I have a gut feeling we're going to be talking about them quite a bit.
Maybe have one of them on. I don't know. We'll see. Get crazy.
If possibly. Yeah. We'll see. Probably not this late, but
we can't use the explicit tag though, so we'll have to keep it family friendly that time.
Yeah. This is not club news though. This next thing, Drew, you have a lot more information when it comes to this, man. But let's just say that when this news came out, apparently, according to our good friend Hector Trujillo, this was me. This is what I did. Yeah, I was really excited, but I don't know if I was that excited. Hector.
Yeah, I heard you from here, Jerry.
You heard me in where? You heard me in Arizona?
I did.
I hate this. Drew,
all across the desert.
What's happening?
So today for my birthday, that's why they told us. But yeah, the governor announced today, and they like to drop these kind of things on Tuesdays or for whatever reason. But that the state is now evaluating data moving forward. This is what they've tried to do the whole time, regardless of how you feel. This is how they project. And they say that by June 15th, we should be in a place where they can lift most of, if not all, restrictions for most outdoor gatherings when it comes to, what we've been living in, our codified system for the last year or so of colors, sometimes layers with numbers, all these different things we've moved between, but settled on colors eventually. Is now coming to an end June 15th. So that is just like, as people who have lived our standards by what is the rules say I can or can't be in a place, or where I should be to citizen wise do my best duty, that is all coming to an end. And then that feels amazing, I think, for a lot of us, just to say we know we have a term date. Maybe it's not up tomorrow and we can't take our masks off and run around making out yet. But that will come and with time, right? So we will have hopefully a V-Day type of experience here in the middle part of summer, where we're able to open up and in this state be very, very open. So I'm that's the best news I could have received on my birthday, which is, hey, it's what we've been here for and what I lived through last year on my birthday, when it felt like, will we ever get out of this, honestly? And being able to go out tonight and have dinner already showed me that there's a world of difference from where we were a year ago. And it seems like that trend is continuing over the next couple months to be able to do more of what we did last year on March 7th together, as opposed to what we've been talking about on the podcast, which is what will be the beginning of the year to some degree, a ramp up and a modification of what we would like to do. And so that is the great news, is we get to do what we want, not just what we can. And that's the exciting part here.
But wait. We need to make sure that we emphasize something. That it's hinging on two factors, right? And that is
exactly. Let's throw in these big asterisks.
So sufficient vaccine supply. So there has to be sufficient vaccine supply and stable and low hospitalization numbers. So those are the two things. Like it needs to continue to trend downward. So, I mean, now with having a date set in people's minds, hopefully it's like, okay, let's just really hold on and do what's right from this point on. Like let's really buckle down and do what is asked of us. I would hope that that's the case, just so that when June 15 comes around, we are fully reopened, as California is trying to accomplish. It's looking right now like it's trending well. It's looking good. But again, two factors: sufficient vaccine supply.
We have to remember that.
Stable and low hospitalization numbers. Yes, two.
How many times through this whole thing have we seen government officials say something and then things change because trends change and people's behavior changes? So I couldn't agree more. I'm ecstatic at the prospect of June 15th becoming a time that, things open back up. But I think we need to be very careful at letting that change our mentality to thinking this is over and we're only 2 months away and we don't need to social distance anymore. Because if everybody has that mindset, we're going to be right back where we started. It's going to spike. I know vaccines are rolling out. I know a lot of us have been vaccinated at least once. And I know it's very tempting, but the risk is real that this vaccine continues to mutate beyond the capabilities of the vaccines and beyond the capabilities of antibodies. And then we're back to square one. The longer we let this virus propagate, the more it has a chance to mutate and the higher risk we're at of starting everything over again. So like, yes, June 15th is exciting, but like, I think I'm just here to we just need to be very careful about having that mentality yet.
But even let's say we're not let's say everything's going great and we know June 15th is still on by the time we're going to our home opener in late May, right? That's going to be we'll know by that point where we're at, probably, in terms of how the trends are going. If the school asks us to, and this is another thing, as Jerry said in caveats, if the school asks us to until late June, let's say July 1st is when they want to roll back their restriction, it's their property. Yep. It's their school, it's their students, it's their safety. They could ask us to do that and we should comply. Or, you know what, we're going to be a little bit more strict in our venue and we'll allow 100%, but we really want you guys to comply by this after certain dates. Again, we have to show that we're responsible in those early dates by applying and doing the things, even if it feels silly and even if it feels like, hey, there's check marks here that we feel like we're passing as a society. Part of that, as Steve said, is doing the right stuff. We gotta, build in those steps back. It's not a step back if you don't step back. If you jump back, it's not a step back, and it's not a roll back or a ramp back up. You have to progressively get there, right? Because if you drop it on the half pipe too hard, you're gonna end up on your knees, and so that's where we don't want to end up, right? We gotta move past this because we're not here to tell you what to do. You already should know what to do. No, you guys are. Let's talk about what this might mean.
But what I mean is, if this goes through on the 15th,
Phoenix,
our first game of our first home game is the 29th of May, right? Or I'm sorry, yes, of May, and then we have June 12th would be Galaxy 2 at home, and then the next game is the 19th against Phoenix Rising.
Yes,
which means if we hit that date of the 15th, we only miss 2 home games without full capacity. That's huge. It's huge. And you know what that means? And I hope it doesn't scare everybody, but we did March 7th, the first match. Crazy. We went all out. We were expecting to be able to do that every single home match. Here's the thing. We get our chance now. Are you guys ready? Because I hope you are.
Oh yeah. Right. So I've already had conversations with the club about what that might mean after June 15th. Because we've talked about on this podcast what the current stipulations would be, which would be no standing, no singing, no, there's a lot that would go in place. There's still a lot of time between now and May 29th, so that things might change by even that first home match. Just don't know yet. But after June 15th, trying to get some idea for what that might mean, full section, what might the restrictions still be? Because, after June 15th, it's like, that kind of seemed like an everything is lifted thing, but are we still gonna have to wear masks? Are we not? Like, what are the rules gonna maybe still look like by then? But we'll see.
We'll worry
We'll
about
see.
it when we get there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm just letting you know that I've started the conversations.
Okay, thanks, Steve. Yeah, we know you.
Being presidential, let him be presidential. He's doing president things. He picked up the
He's
big orange phone.
Too thorough, and I'm just trying to get us to move along because we've been on an hour and we still have a lot of locals topics.
Well, there's.
That's the only reason I'm being a jerk.
I'm going to get whisked away here to go finish.
Only reason.
Things.
No, this is all stuff that we can we'll probably talk about. I mean, if you guys want to hang out for a little bit, I do have to get up early, and I know that Steve does as well. But we do need to get to a few more very important topics as we're moving along just before we finish it up. And that is a membership update. You guys should be getting an email very soon. I'm working on that right now. I was working on that today. We have some new information. So you're going to be getting, if you're a new 2021 member and returning member, you should be getting an email soon with some information. If you haven't yet signed up again, you're a member in 2020, you have to sign up in 2021. I'm letting you know right now because there's quite a few of you. So if you're listening in right now and you haven't signed up yet, please head over to thelocalssg.com and sign up. All right. And an email should be going out very soon this week. By the end of the week, you'll have something in your mailbox with some details on how to join our Discord if you don't already have that, as well as some membership updates. But we just got some updates today. Steve, what's going on with our scarves? And
the scarves will land at my house tomorrow.
If you're listening to this on a Wednesday, they're arriving today. If you're listening on a Thursday, they arrived yesterday. If you're listening on Friday, they arrived 2 days ago. If you're listening on a Saturday, guess what? They're probably almost getting ready and packaged and shipped. Nah, we don't know. I'm just gonna put some pressure.
Yeah, so they get here. They get here on April 7th to remove all ambiguity. And that's exciting. We placed the order pretty much in late March, and we thought it would be 3 to 4 weeks, and it ends up being about 2 until it arrives. So it's pretty gnarly timing. Shouts to Die Hard. And I believe the keychains, the scarf chains are also shipping this week per Eileen, who is always on top of things. I'm just here giving the updates, and so I want to make sure I give due credit. But yeah, those were shipping this week, I believe. I haven't gotten or seen any updated tracking or shipping information on that, but once we get those, we'll start putting together your membership packages. So while the scarves they are going to land tomorrow, we're not going to send stuff out until we get the keychains as well, because that's going to be a package deal.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
So we'll keep everybody updated.
Send out multiple packages. That would be a pain for you guys. Shout out.
We want to.
And
that's why we want to keep it together. So we'll send out social media updates. You'll see when we're putting the packages together for sure. So if you're checking our socials, you'll see pictures of people putting things in bags and then putting labels on the bags and sending them to you. So you'll get a sense if you want an inkling. But if you want that Christmas morning feeling, just don't listen to the end of podcast from now till maybe 2 to 3 weeks from now, and then it'll just show up on your door. So there you go.
Surprise! Yeah, there you go. Nice. Go ahead and join Discord, please. I'm telling you, if you aren't already on there and you need a link, you're gonna get it pretty soon. But that's
when you'll find out the day they go out if you join Discord.
Yeah, probably. And also, if you should have already. Some of you should already have the link from a long time ago. But if you don't and you need it and you're a member, message us. We'll get it to you. And like I said, it's coming in the next few days, anyways. But it's honestly, I'm telling you that the membership is worth it. Just the Discord alone, you get your money's worth because there's so much interaction right now. And we have some really cool channels, as Drew mentioned. We have the Merch Mansion channel that just started. That's pretty cool. Part of the Gargoyle Gang. Was that the name?
Gargoyle Gang.
Yeah. And then we have the What Are You Drinking And then there's coffee, there's water sometimes, obviously a lot of beer. There's food even made its way into what are you drinking? Because people are drinking
Oh, yeah.
steak. It's weird, Kim.
I was
but
drinking
yeah.
some meat to mouth this weekend for sure.
Yeah. So join the Discord because not only that, not only those things that I just mentioned, but we just said June 15th, we're going to be having to recreate. And it's not recreate. This is just going to be now a thing at every home game. March 7th is going to be a thing at every home game, right? Like it's now just going to be, this is a San Diego Loyal match. This is what it is. This is what it feels like. This is no longer going to be, yeah, we March 7th was great. Now it's going to be every home match is great. And that's what we're shooting for. And what that means is we need your opinions. We need your input. That's why I mean, join Discord because we need
more songs.
Ideas.
Yeah, we need TiVos. Yeah, we need all.
Everything.
Yeah. We need them all.
Drew, like this is like a big deal with Discord, and I just wanted to give a quick shout out to Kyle, man. Can you kind of give an idea to these people how much work Kyle has put into this for us?
Kyle came to us, and Jerry and I were playing around with what do we do for a forum, and we had promised that in our membership details last year because we really believe in this because we know online you can create some of the discussions that, as he was saying, offline this week we had with some of our friends at the store. On Friday it was pretty nice because I ran into Nick Duffy. I think we might have met 1 or 2 times before. I don't even know, but it feels like we were just seamlessly entering into conversations like we had been having on, through our Discord and through our group that didn't, it feels like it's this conduit where I didn't feel like I'd missed or not seen Nick or whatever. It felt like, hey, we're in contact and we know what's going on. So because of what Kyle had done by reaching out to Jerry and I, creating this space to say, hey, I understand the world of Discord. I've, admin a few servers and know what's going on, and it's been used as a gamer tool, but he could see the vision that Jerry and I could see and came to us and did that. And so again, this whole thing got started and the work that he put in to make it get there is the same kind of thing that makes the Discord beautiful is when people put forward what they're doing. You can get previews to what we're doing as well. And talented people like Travis, when you're like, what is Travis working on? If we're not tweeting it or he's not tweeting it, some of that ends up in the Discord, right? And for everybody to see there. And so that's the kind of stuff where not only him, but talented members you didn't know you should be following, right? Maybe I should follow this person on Instagram or Twitter or whatever I'm on because I actually really like their takes or I really like this picture or Photoshop they put out. I think is really cool. So that's the kind of stuff that we're getting there that Kyle has done an awesome job by putting forth his work. It gives a space for more people to have their work seen. As I said, it's again, a platforming thing. He built a little platform and said to Jerry and I see what you're trying to build. Let me build it up a little bit higher to make it better for everybody. And we said, oh my gosh, we would have taken us like 3 or 4 months to get here. What he did in like a weekend.
It's still evolving too. That's
like,
cool.
That's what's amazing. So he's always ahead of what the trend is and keeping us on it. So we appreciate, viewers or listeners like Kyle and people like Kyle. And that's what keeps this going. So be like Kyle, join the Discord and, help make those kind of faith bets on what this is as a group grow, because that's really, it's your equity is what builds this group. It's not the 3 of us. It's the equity of everybody building it together. And that's why I think at the most of the time, we don't actually feel like we have like, when we're trying to steer this beautiful ship, the ability to authoritatively say I'm making this decision, it's always it's always a collective of what are we doing together. And so that's why I love that group and people like Kyle is that they do those kind of things that make it to where it's not just about us, right? It's about everybody.
Dude, this is a great segue into the last point that we're going to make, which is soccer shorts. We talk about this. We say how important it is that everybody contributes and you get to see it. When it was just Steve and Daryl and what in the world is happening? What are we going to do? Like we need some more people. And then all of a sudden they bring in Drew and then they bring me in and then everybody starts coming in little by little and we build a leadership. Like you guys get to see all of that and what it's taken to get to the point that we're at right now and how we plan to continue to grow. I think you just be a part of Discord, you're gonna get that feeling. But another shout out to Mr. Mr. Soccer Shorts is what I'm gonna call him. I don't know. Do we call him the John Cross John Cross hat man. I don't know.
No,
Just
he's
John
Mr. Soccer Shorts.
Mr. Soccer Shorts. No, to John Cross, who is just it's just so epic. He is running Soccer Shorts. He's the Big Pine Digital, I believe, is what it is.
He's
The
the
actual
Big
tag
Pine.
of it.
Yeah.
Soccer Shorts, and there he's basically create. Oh, there he is. There he is. He's here. So no, make sure you go and check it out. So patreon.com/soccer shorts.
We mentioned it last week. He's always there, Jerry. He's always there.
Always there,
Yeah.
even when we don't know. He has a cat.
I haven't gotten to watch the latest drop yet tonight, so I'll have to watch it tomorrow.
I haven't either,
Tomorrow
actually. I haven't
viewing.
either.
Yeah, it was a
Oh,
birthday present,
yeah.
but I didn't get to open it yet, John. So I appreciate it. So
So good. You have to go
Yeah,
and watch.
tomorrow.
Okay, so this
but
is
I'm excited for this one. It's been building to this one for a while because he's shown us preview cuts of some of the other ones if you're a Patreon, but not yet
Yeah.
this episode. So I'm very excited to see, and that's what you do get for being a Patreon is those early looks. And as he goes forward, it's these stories where you'll hear us talk about it on the podcast. But if you want to be somebody who's ahead of that, or like, hey, I'm into the scene, I really like what's going on. Even after locals, what you're going to get out of this is pockets of the community you didn't know existed. Soccer Kids for America, for instance, and I've gotten to know Carlene a little bit and that group, but you wouldn't know everything if it wasn't for John going in there and really telling their story. So things like that you just get that you'll get drops of first and be able to see first and be part of that conversation first. That honestly are, and really when the conversation happens, sometimes the conversation happens here, and then as it comes out or gets to the general public, it's not as big of a thing, but it's built in that space. So that's where for everyone, if you really do like this, there's no better person to put your few dollars if you do have some birthday money, to put towards somebody like John, because he is just always there and always caring in the way that we do. So
yeah.
appreciate you, dude.
This is
For
great.
sure.
Like a good neighbor, John Cross is there.
I would call him a guardian angel, but that might be better. Good neighbor.
I like it. So
awesome.
yeah, if you're join the Patreon, you get to see sneak peek of episode 1 through 5 already right now. All right, episode 6 drops on Thursday. At the time of recording, we're recording on a Tuesday, so in a couple of days we get to see episode 6. Episode 5 just dropped today, which is fantastic, and it's creating an identity, and it goes into the thought process of why we use bum and Drew's involvement in that, and how like he kind of was the main reason why we were all even aware of this, and then the locals crest creation. So check it out because it's really, really good. Episode 7 hopefully gets dropped soon as well, and then episode 8, no pressure, John, I know you're still working on those, but it's great to see it. In the episode 4 is all about our bylaws and how we went and signed it and made it real, and episode 3 is about the name death match, which again, you get to see some of the names that could have made it, and we could have possibly not been called the locals, and you get to see some of the names in there. It's really, really cool.
Yeah.
Please go and check it out.
Did not cover about how much I was sweating though. I don't know why he didn't include that. Why wouldn't he include how much I was sweating that day?
Because he's a professional.
I don't.
We don't
covered it up.
He didn't tell that part of the story.
You were pretty sweaty. That's
I
true.
was very sweaty. Why would he live there? I'm just kidding. That's where John is the editor. He's smarter than the rest of us, right? In my head, that's my mental note, but nobody wants to hear that. They want to hear about most of the other really interesting stuff, as Jerry said, about the Warren and see Travis's fine suit that day. And you get to hear from his words, what was going through his head, which Travis is remiss to do sometimes, to give us his words, because he likes to do it with his hands more often as he expresses himself. So I loved being able to hear it from himself, kind of what was going through his head somewhat as he did that. So if you were there, it's like the director's commentary. And if you weren't, it's all the story you need to know as to why we got to where we are now. And it's an amazing story to show you how weirdly random it is. People are always, locals and loyal, that was planned, right? It was very real that there was no way that could have been chosen. And it was chosen because it was what people really aligned and wanted. So thank you, Steve, for bringing that to the table. But it is funny to always see that, when I was watching that, it reminded me, I was like, there's a very real chance we could have ended up with any one of these names.
Totally.
Anybody could have chosen them. So
and despite
kind of funny.
Despite what Jerry says, I think my voice could have won locals, but I will say his sultriness might have just kind of tipped it over the edge.
You guys need to. Okay, so
The world will never know.
yeah, just
We'll never know. It's exactly right.
keep what you just said to only people that are on Patreon and will understand that. So if you're not on Patreon and you want to understand what he just said about the sultry voice, you're gonna have to sign up. Amazing thing.
Otherwise,
so-
you gotta wait. You gotta wait.
that's
Yeah,
what's gonna
and
happen.
then you'll
Right.
get it on YouTube. But that's your incentive. Sign up, check it out.
So yeah,
Somebody's echoing a little bit, by the way. I don't know who it is. But so yeah, there you go. So it looks like episode 7 preview on Sunday and then public release on the 22nd. Originally we had gotten somewhere between the 22nd and 30th of April is going to be the public release, and then it's going to be 8 episodes, guys. 8 episodes. Like, come on, it's a lot. And I don't know how he even managed to just get it down to 8 episodes because there's so much stuff, so much footage he
man.
probably has on us.
Yeah.
A lot of Drew sweating probably.
Just so much use. That's 95% of what I cut. When I'm like, oh, why didn't you use my interview for this? I'm like, I was probably sweating too much. That's probably why. Or my audio was unusable. One or the other.
Eric, have a great night, sir. Thank you for
is there a Brockhoff cut of the locals video? Yeah, I did do one, but I think I deleted it.
All right.
Somewhere. It's on a hard drive we'll never find. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's fun to live through. And again, it's just telling our story and be here for the next generation. Support
sure.
him and then jump in, and you never know. Again, he'll be somebody who really, as he keeps going, that camera turns on you and you go, is he ever going to use this? And then a year or two down the line, it's the most great gift. So
Yeah.
not to beat this dead, but John, I appreciate you, and a special birthday shout out. Thank you so much. And thank you everybody again for all the messages. I'm not going to have time to get back to tonight, but I will message you first thing in the morning. I really appreciate it, everybody. So I'm going to head out early into after hours, but I'll say hi for a minute, but we will head to there. And I appreciate all you guys. So I won't have to give it last thoughts tonight, Jerry. To that's my birthday present to you. Is
I appreciate that. No, it's good. I think we're gonna call on a night. I think that's enough information. Hopefully I didn't get myself in trouble with some of the stuff I said today, but it is what it is. We'll hang out for a little bit afterwards just to kind of say hi, and also because there's a really cool stat that I didn't get to mention on the pod that I'm gonna mention after hours. So if you are not listening, or if you're listening and not watching, then you're probably going to want to tune in forward to about an hour and 17 minutes, and then you'll be good to go. Okay, that's it. We're going to call it a night. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. For Mr. Steve Brokoff, for Mr. Drew Steck, my name is Jerry Jimenez, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye. What are you doing?
trying to
chugging
hold that
stuff?
word,
Quickly.
and then I didn't. But I have to. I still have a present from my wife that I have to go open. So I'm gonna do that.
Oh no, yo, we got it. We
She went to work this morning. She goes to work in an office. It's without anybody else. She just sits in there and works with papers mostly. That's why she goes in. But yeah, she has been there, and then we went to dinner, and so I need to go do that. So I'm gonna go do that, and I love everybody who's here.
Bye.
Why are you even here? Just bye.
Bye.
Leave.
The show.
Bye.
I said
Bye.
we were gonna end the show,
Bye.
And I was gonna give you guys an hour, but I love you all. And
Love you, dude.
I
Happy
gotta
birthday.
run. No, I love you guys, but yeah, real quick, just what Jerry was saying. One thing that I wanted to bring up in the post show was that the travels. We moved past it with the June 15 thing, but California, we have most of our road dates, if you will, in California. So part of what we were talking about was trips to Phoenix, trips to Vegas. What I'm excited for, trips to Oakland, trips to Sacramento, maybe trips to LA. Now all actually on the board, we can actually plot and say statewide, we know kind of around this period we'll have that ability possibly, and
Given
and be able to
everything
look
goes
at that
the way
middle
it's
to latter
going.
part of the year for
Yeah.
some of those way days. So I'm very excited for that. That's
Oh
what
yeah, dude.
again, what felt like a birthday present to me was like, you can actually think about those things now, since we're telling you that might be a possibility versus we just didn't know. And so as Steve said, we got a long road, we'll get there, but having that date in mind makes it very real and makes it a great birthday present.
Yeah, it does, but I mean, it's
It
almost
also could go wrong. So many
it's almost frustrating to me that was even put out there, because that's 2.5 fucking months away, and so much could change by then, and it's giving it. We don't know shit about what's going to happen in between.
The belief is that
Yeah,
there's been so many vaccines before they've opened it up to everyone.
Everybody's
There is
like,
such
it's
an-
over, and it's not.
But
It's
we'll
not.
see. Yeah, and that's
what's
closing that
frustrating to
gap,
me.
right? Yeah,
I
you
want
have
to plan
keep
away
on.
trips too, but I don't know what it's going to look like. You know,
That's the
Steve, I
problem.
don't know who you're hanging out with, dude. Most people around me are like, it's not over. You better freaking protect yourself still.
yeah.
So you
No,
need
I
to
know.
just stop surrounding yourself with some better people up North County, because all of us down
No,
here.
I'm just saying
Hey.
that.
No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, I'm in
No,
Phoenix. It's over here. COVID isn't here.
Oh, hey,
That is true.
hey, you know what?
I hate Phoenix.
No, I walk because masks are
Dude,
mandatory
Steve,
here.
Stop talking, Drew. You gotta go, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
I gotta leave, but no,
gotta
Steve
go.
is right. It's not. It's. I think where he's
Doesn't
at
wanna-
mentally and physically is the same thing. Like mentally,
Yeah.
he's in a place that is physically not good for his well-being. So he's like, "Hey guys, don't become like here." So I totally feel him, but like, I'm pretty positive in the sense of people are doing what they're supposed to do. I believe in Californians, and the fact that they would make a pronouncement like this, as you said, it's somewhat reckless. They've been so conservative that I'd like to think that this is them saying we feel so ecstatic about what we've done in the last month or so that we can make a pronouncement like this. And that's why I'm inspired. I'm going to take the optimism. It's my birthday, and I'm going to head out, and I'm going to have the last word and be optimistic. But I love you guys. Thank you so
Bye.
much.
I
Love
love
you,
you.
man. Happy birthday,
Brother.
brother.
Fun Show. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. You want me to click
Thank
you
God,
out?
thank God I'm done with that. Thank
Drew.
But yeah, I mean,
Love that guy.
it's not that I'm trying to shit on everybody's dreams. I just
Oh,
the June 15th projection is dangerous to me, because it's like that's the date if everything goes the way it's going to go, but that gives everybody this hope that's like, oh, we're so close. I'm just gonna let up and things are gonna be better. And we're already seeing it with like just the announcement of today, like the June 15th announcement. People are like, oh yeah, we're gonna be back in Peckle Park or back at all this stuff, and go life will be normal, and like life will be normal if we do this and that. So like,
every party needs a pooper, and Steve was invited for that same reason.
You're
No,
welcome.
seriously, I'm really proud of you, because you're such a dad in such a short amount of time. It's ridiculous. But you're
I
also
was born
right.
for it.
But you're also right. No,
Right.
I do agree with you. I think it's just
The worst thing that could happen would be being told this date and like being like, oh yeah, that Phoenix match is gonna be fucking awesome. We're gonna have such a good time, and then like we're
Right.
halfway through May, and then
yeah.
it's like, oh well, things are worse again, and here we are, and like you just highlighted what Tony said, being given hope is almost just as painful as not knowing. Like, could have very well just not said this kind of stuff for another month or 2 months, or not 2 months, but another month and a half, and then
Fine.
it could be the same result, but
Yeah, but
it's just hard.
Steve, you're saying what most reasonable people are thinking.
Yeah, and I know. I'm excited too. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not, totally.
No, we totally got you wrong. 'Cause you're not excited. You don't care. And for anybody, everybody should just stay inside.
No, but so I was.
Everybody stay inside, because then there's traffic and Steve can't travel to Arizona as easily. All right, because he's in Arizona.
No, so what I was saying that there's no mask. The mask mandate was lifted out here, so like nobody
Oh,
wears masks. So like I like going to a restaurant because I like need to walk in to like find a table outside, and I'm like wearing my mask, and people were looking at me like, fucking weirdo, and I'm like, dude, like you guys are crazy.
see, that's
Yeah, but actually my work out here, everybody's great about it because they
I
work
hate
with
Phoenix.
intelligent people.
I hate Phoenix.
I wish you would have said I hate Arizona. Just because everybody in damn Arizona.
Yeah.
You only live there because you have to. I don't know what's wrong with those people.
Yeah.
Anyways,
But,
it's a good point though. It's a really good point. So can I say my stat? I told it to you earlier, and
yes.
I mean,
Good
I don't.
stat.
I honestly, what Drew's gonna do right now matters much, much more than any stat. So I'll give him the stat later. The idea was, I'm thinking, hey, we have now like some young kids, right? We have what, 2 17-year-olds, a 16-year-old, and an 18/19-year-old. I think he's 19 actually. I think they said he was 18. He's 19 because of his
Okay.
birthday. This happened. So I I did like a Steve trademark thing, and I went into a sheet, and I threw in all our players, all 23 of them, and then their ages, right? And so I did an average, and I did an average of all the players, and we're at an average of 24.6 years old per player, right? That's the average age is 24.6. With the new additions today, the 4. So if you remove them, it doesn't change it that much. It actually changes the average to 26.2 years, which tells me we have an okay squad. 26 is not very old. It's like prime. I think Steve is the word that you use, right? Prime.
Yeah,
8.
but for USL, I think that's on the older side for USL Championship.
That is on the older side.
Yeah.
I'd have to think that that's the case. We might have to look at some numbers and see that, but one of the things too that I noticed because
we have to look at more numbers, Jerry. Do I hear more spreadsheets?
More spreadsheets. Where the crazy thing is, I'm looking at this and I'm like, oh my gosh, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players out of 23 that are 26 years old right now, exactly 26 years old. And I don't know if that's just like a coincidence or what, but
Over a fourth.
that's old. We have, I mean, it's not old. The oldest player that we have, Steve, trivia night, oldest player in the squad.
Zizo.
Yeah, of course, 24. I mean, 24, 34. He's 24 minus plus 10. That's pretty cool. Who's the youngest?
Ooh, wait, youngest besides the 4? Besides the 4 we just signed.
Oh, no. Oh, okay, besides the 4, sure.
Nikki?
Nope.
Shoot. Was he on the squad last year?
Nope. Nikki Jackson's 25.
Oh.
Mhm.
Oops.
No.
I don't know.
Oh, with Loney or without a Loney, because it's Trey Muse, 21.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Then who would the non-Loney be?
Anthony Siaha, 22.
Mm.
And then without goalkeepers, we're just gonna get crazy. It'd be, Jordan Chavez, who's 24. So
Afmir. Shouts to Afmir, got him.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah.
Chavez, yeah. Sean Kelly better what? Better watch his throne as a virtual Statman title. There you go. No, I'm
You, Jerry, not me.
dude. What's up?
You got it.
No, I thought it would be interesting, and you know what? Now I'm like, I think I might need to like throw some stuff together, and I think Steve, you might have some already. So we're gonna have to like figure out how to put it all together and just have like the 2020 entire roster and then the 2021 entire roster.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, just to be nerds, just because it's fun.
Speak my language, Jerry.
La vista. Yeah, Chavez. Yeah, dude, Jordan. I hope he gets some more playing time this year.
Yeah.
Be great to see him.
I mean, we've talked about it a lot. 27 weeks, 32 matches. There's gonna be a need for it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I would say so. Do you guys have any questions before we get going? I know Steve has to go. He has an early day. Actually, I'm probably going to be here only another 5. Is that cool with you, Steve?
Yeah, totally.
Okay. And then me too, because I'm going to go and volunteer again. Yay. Going to Radies Children's Hospital to volunteer.
Yeah. People still on, if you guys do want to volunteer for Radies Children's Hospital for their vaccine clinic, get in touch with our director of philanthropy, Tom Phillips. I did it once and it was an awesome experience.
I did the same thing you did.
I had a what was that?
Apparently, I did the same thing you did.
Oh yeah,
mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was an amazing experience. Like, really feel like I was helping people. I was, a lot of people had a lot of questions, and I was guiding them in the right direction. I felt like I was making a big impact on the community and helping out a sponsor of the club, but just somebody in need. So if you have time and you want to give back, please get in touch with Tom, because he. When this kind of all started, there was some hesitation from my side, and he kind of pushed and said, no, I really want to do this. I'm super passionate about this. And I said, all right, dude, this is your area. I trust you. And I'm so proud that of what he pushed for and then what we're all doing for our community. So love you, Tom. Shouts to you for, speaking your voice and making this happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Get to hang out with me tomorrow. I do, Nick. I heard about this. So I get to hang out with Nick Duffy and with Kim. Kim Days tomorrow.
So
nice. I'm excited. I'll see
you. Bring you some beer
in the morning. Oh, I think
7?
I think we might have lunch afterwards. Hopefully,
Nice.
it'd be cool. Have we ever scored from a set piece? That's a great question. I'm sure we have. I hope we have. Have we, Steve? He's thinking.
I don't know. I don't think a direct free kick, maybe a corner. Yeah, no, we have.
In the corner.
We have.
We should have. Yeah.
It was the first goal in Tacoma. Boom.
Oh, what? Hold on. I have to look
Find
it
it,
up.
huh? And I'm probably gonna be wrong.
Let's see this now. March 11th is when it would have been, right?
Hi, 2 balls and a mic. We can certainly help give you away tickets in the local section.
Wait,
That
what?
is something that we can definitely do.
Oh, 100%.
Totally.
That's an easy one.
Yes.
All right.
The
Hold
answer
on.
is yes. Oh, Rubio did score a free kick. I'm wrong again, Nick. I'm sorry.
What do you mean? No, but was there a set piece goal for Tacoma?
Maybe it was later in the season. I know
You wouldn't be wrong.
Vernon Landon from Wix.com.
What is this?
I could be wrong.
Wix. No, I hate commercials.
Irvin Parra scored a header. Yeah, you guys are on it. Love you guys.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, against Vegas.
Mm-hmm. There you go, people. Hold on. Now I'm just like looking back at the Tacoma game. Apparently we scored like in the 20th minute or something. Let me see. Oh, against Trey Muse too. Fantastic.
It was
Oh,
that moment. It was those moments that he was like, I'm playing for them.
These guys are good. Oh, it was not. Hold on. It was not a set piece.
Damn.
Hold on.
Of course you had to find it.
I found it. Oh, it was a set piece. It was, sir. It was. Yes.
How dare you doubt me?
It was. So it's a. Oh man, I don't know if I can share this screen. Hold on. I might be able to though.
Do it.
Yes. Hold on. Let me see. Here we go.
It was Metcalf with the assist, I think. With the service.
Hold on. Oh, yeah. Here we go. Okay.
Look at that.
Can we see this?
Yeah, it's choppy, but I can see it.
Hold on. Let's see. Okay, so here's a foul on Moshe Bani right there. Bam, right? And
This was the first no fans game in the States too, right?
yes.
Yeah.
And
And I think it was the last professional soccer match in 3 months.
yeah, so it's a foul on Moshe Bani. And then set piece. Here we go. And it's Colin Martin.
Mm.
Oh man, now I just want to watch this game. Wait, no, and then they make him restart because it was 2, right? I was like, wait, what is this? Oh, Tacoma. Against Trey Muse. Look at Trey back there in his purple kit. In his Joker kit. It's like purple.
So it was Colin.
Yeah, Colin Martin. Bam! Moshe Bani. Right? Yep, for the goal. There it is.
Mm-hmm.
Look at Trey Muse's face. He's like, oh, I want to play for this squad. So there you go. Nice. Good job, dude. Steve, that's the first ever set piece goal, dude.
I don't know what the last one was, though. Maybe that Rubio free kick that Nick mentioned.
That makes sense.
That was the hat trick game, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Where in the world is Nico? Nico? What Nico? Who's Nico? What are you talking about? You know what? I want to know where in the world is since we're already on overtime, where's Ebenezer Akan? That's what I want to know.
Yeah. What is your investigative journalism tell you?
I can't tell you. I already know where he's at. I don't. I'm just kidding.
You would though.
Jeez. I'm assuming it has something to do with like
A visa.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it just makes sense.
Yeah.
We haven't heard from him or seen him, but hoping for the best. Especially like during this time, it's usually going to be something like, "Oh, he got stuck across the border somewhere and can't come."
Yeah.
Who
knows?
Free kick, yeah.
I wonder if there's still issues. I wonder if they're going to be looking for another fullback. Because right now, I mean, there's really only 2 fullbacks on the squad, and that scares me.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
if Jack or Elijah get injured, you know, and I mean, I'm excited for the 4 players, but the overall squad depth this year is definitely lighter than last year. I think the quality is higher, but I think the depth is a little thinner. So that worries me with the condensed schedule.
Well, I mean,
And a couple injuries.
but you haven't really seen. Yeah, no, you're right.
We haven't seen the kids play. Like, there's no highlights really to understand what they're like. You know, sometimes a 16-year-old could come and blow everybody out of the water. We've seen it before. We'll see it again. You know, I don't know too much about it. So my hesitation is, whoa, you know.
Listen, we're thin. We're gonna have to rely on these younger kids.
Yeah.
Because our squad is not a big squad. I mean, there's 23 players as of right now.
Right.
Last
week are 30.
That's counting a con. That's counting a con, by the way. So I mean, we're looking at 3 goalkeepers, right? And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 defenders on the squad right now, and that's I mean, I don't know. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 midfielders technically, and then 4 forwards. We're looking at Guido as a mid, Jack Blake as a mid. You know, Charlie Adams.
The 3 strikers are Spencer, Herzog, and Nicky Jackson. Yeah,
and Xavi.
Oh yeah,
Xavi. No, so yeah, it's it's just not that great. Oh, I'm sorry, not Xavi. CJ Fodder. That's what I'm talking about in forwards. Xavi's a mid. So, I mean, the good thing again is that they brought in people like Vacancini who can, move positions and play somewhere else. And I think a lot of these guys can kind of play somewhere else. So that's an advantage that we have. But man,
good night, Mr. Soccer Shorts.
Good night, sir. Thanks for everything you do. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
If you look at the Galaxy highlights from the goal, CJ is given a lot of props by the coaches in the background. I
mean, and come on, imagine being CJ right now. He's like a 7. What is he, Jerry? How old is he? You know,
to 17.
So imagine being him and being coached by Landon Donovan. You're in the most moldable, like adaptable time of your life, of your career, and like you're coached by one of the greatest United States has ever, produced. So it's got to be exciting.
It has to be, right? So
got to be surreal.
All right, you guys, we're gonna call it a night. We appreciate all of you for hanging out with us, sticking with it, and still being alive. And Steve is tired. I'm tired. We're all tired. So we're going to call it a night.
Yes.
We'll see you guys. I think we're doing something this weekend with our leadership. So we won't see you for Together Thursdays this week, but we'll see you next week. And hopefully we'll have some more information for you guys then. Hopefully you're enjoying this. If you are, please give us a 5-star rating on any of your podcast platforms. We would greatly appreciate it. If you're not enjoying it, come talk to me. I'll buy you a beer and ask you why. And we'll make it better. We promise. Because this is your podcast. This is for you. This is not about us. And this is just a way for us to get your information. That's pretty much it. And we have a fun time talking. We're good at talking. So we appreciate you guys. Anything else, Dave? You actually, Drew's giving his ending statements somewhere else right now.
I had wanted to cover all the recent MLS news, but I think we'll save that for next week.
Oh my gosh. Yes, we'll save it for next week. We do have to talk.
I want to cover that on the podcast, and I want to get 5 words in about it. So.
Substitutions and all that. Gotta do it.
That too. We should start adding our list for next week.
Oh, you're talking about the other MLS. Okay.
Oh yeah, no, I was talking about that all the MLS San Diego stuff.
Yeah, we'll get there. We'll talk about that. All right. Love you guys. Have a great night. We're just gonna go ahead and end it. See y'all. Bye.
Bye.